Hello, hello. I've arrived. Alright, I just realized this whole time I've been on my break screen and not my prep screen. A terrible mistake. I will do my utmost to avoid any such errors in the future. Oh dear. I'll also do my utmost to not knock my phone off my table. That would be no good also. But anyway, hello. Hello, I've arrived. Yes, hello all. Hello Pick. Thank you for the alert. Alright, so let's see, I guess not all that much to go over before we get started. So, we're going to be playing Conquer the Shadow World tonight. We will be returning to that in a little bit. Like I said, I managed to get in a little bit of practice the other day. Haven't gotten super far, but we will get further. I am sure than we would without any practice, even if it was only just a little bit. But yes, so today, well, Conquer the Shadow World, I guess. I don't know what else I was going to say. Yeah, we might make things a little bit short because I've been talking a lot today. Because this is a Saturday when I did work, so I've been I didn't do a whole lot of talking at work because yeah, not a lot of people there because of all of the inclement weather. But let's see. But yeah, at any rate, I have been in varying states of talking and just otherwise making noises since about 10 a.m. today. So yeah, voice is a little bit tired tonight. So yeah, I think might make it a bit of a short stream, might not, who knows. Anyway, I guess that's basically everything that needs to be said. So let's get over to the video game. And, whoops. Alright, there we go. That should work. Okay, it did work. Cool. Nice. And yes, we do have the audio going. Don't have to worry about that. So yes. So, in order to be able to fight the final boss, I'm just realizing now that the game audio is kind of loud on my end. I'm probably going to need to turn that down here. But yes, in order to be able to get to the final boss, we have to play on normal mode, which means that we only have one hit until we defeat a boss and gain additional hit points. Alright, well, this is a good opportunity to turn the volume down, I suppose, if nothing else. I don't remember it being this loud last time. I don't think it would have, like, reset or anything. So I'm not sure why that would be. But yeah, I remember when I was practicing the other day, I was listening to, sort of in the background, a video about speed running. I don't remember, it was about like a specific speed run. Or it was about the Super Mario Hour challenge, which is a challenge in which you have to beat the original Super Mario Brothers, Super Mario Brothers 2, you know, both Super Mario Brothers 2, Super Mario Brothers 3, Super Mario World, and Super Mario 64, all in the span of an hour. And so I ended up getting drawn into thinking about what it would be like to speedrun this game. And I've got to say, it would be kind of hard to track splits. Because, you know, there's bosses and everything, but you can only, you know, there's no consistency to when you would encounter a specific boss. So having individual boss splits feels a little bit impractical almost. Whoops. Alright, we're not being sufficiently cautious. So maybe let's slow it down a little bit. Focus a little bit more on not getting hit and a little bit less on talking about this video that I watched. I'm not this YouTube channel's marketing division. I suppose I haven't mentioned the channel by name. That's Mostly because I've forgotten who made the video, now that I think about it. But yeah, not a lot of RNG in this game, I don't think. Which is one thing, I suppose I've only speedrun one game, but I kind of dislike the idea, I guess, more so than the practice, because I haven't, done it. But I like I dislike it. Ah, it's Ferris. It is Ferris. Hello, Sheps. It is Sheps also. But yes. But yeah, I feel like this would be a pretty quick game to learn to speedrun if that was something one would be inclined to do. Just, again, it would be hard to, have individual splits for individual bosses. Because I don't know if there's a lot of, speedrun timers that let you, 'tis I, a shepherd, is Shepius Sheps. Indeed. But yeah, I don't know if there's a lot of speedrun timers, or, any, that, like, natively support, doing splits in, like, different orders. Because, yeah, the order in which, like, an individual... Yeah, it would make it hard to, time individual segments of the game. Because, where you spawn is random, and, so you'll encounter the bosses in, a set order, basically. There's sort of a loop that you go in. But, have a question, Tibbs. Do you have core rulebooks for Pathfinder on you? I do not have them on me, but one nice thing about Pathfinder is that all of the core rules for it are actually available for free online. But yeah, I'm very enthusiastic about Pathfinder, which is why I'm taking time out of my stream to talk about it. Anyway, so, yes, this is a website where you can get, like, not even just the core rules. You can get, like, basically every rule for the game that exists is on this website. Like, recent publications, I know that they have, like, whenever a new book comes out, there's some amount of time that they have to wait before they are allowed to publish the rules online. But this is a thing that is, like, allowed by, it's something that's allowed, basically. Yeah, so this is legit. And this is another website that has the Pathfinder rules on it. So, use whichever one you find more usable, basically. Whichever one you like the aesthetic of better. But yeah, Creative Commons licensed everything. I like that about Pathfinder. I do too. I just realized I'm going the wrong direction. Because, yeah. But yeah, anyway. Oh, that's unfortunate. But yeah, one thing, I think, like speaking of Ferris, and speaking of speedrunning, and the thought of speedrunning this game, I feel like a big note would be, or a big part of how fast any given run could be, would probably depend on where you spawn relative to Ferris. Because if you spawn in, like, the room where you can get to Ferris immediately without having to touch that crystal and lower that gate, this room up in the top right here, then, you wouldn't have to wait for the crystal to lower the gate and then, go to it and all that. So I feel like any run where you don't spawn, like, I don't know if it's this room that you spawn in or this room that you spawn in, but if you don't spawn in, like, one of these two rooms, I feel like that's an immediate, like, run reset, basically. What with the, again, the gate having to be lowered and whatnot. But yeah, basically, if Ferris isn't the first boss that you fight, then the game is probably then your run is probably not going to be as fast as it could be. And right, the boss, I always forget that the boss does that sometimes. Oh, I forgot what we called this guy. Oh dear. But yeah, you know, with talking about different RPG systems and all that, you know, not every RPG system is for everyone. I do understand that, but I know one thing that often people say when talking about why they, you know, D&D is very popular and a very common sort of first RPG for people. I would say it's probably not the best first RPG. There's nothing wrong with D&D, any edition of it, really. Nothing seriously wrong anyway. But one point that people often make is that D20 is prevalent and pretty easy to understand. Yeah. But yeah, I was gonna say, like, one point that I often see people make about why they, like, you know, just play D&D and don't try other systems and stuff is that it's too expensive to get into other systems. When you've got like systems like Pathfinder and like Fate and Open Legend and stuff like that, where the rules are like available online for like free. And it's not like these are just, you know, oh, it's just sort of an RPG that some dude like slapped together in their free time or something. Like, these are, like, professionally made products. Like, and all that. You know, nothing wrong with indie RPGs as well. But, like, if that's a bit of hesitation for anyone. D&D is actually, like, a pretty expensive system to get into, generally speaking. Because, like, you need to... Maybe not need to, strictly, but, like, in order to get into 5th edition... It's hard to, like, start running it unless you have at least both the player's handbook and the monster manual. The Dungeon Master's Guide is actually probably the least necessary of all of the D&D 5th edition, like, rule books or books. It does include a lot of optional rules and stuff that are useful and nice to have. But, like, you know, the monster manual has the monsters. And, you know, if you have the DM's guide, then there are rules for building your own monsters. But, you know, then you have to build every single monster personally. Unless they're, you know, the relatively small list of creatures that's in the back of the player's handbook. Oops. But yeah. There's a lot of systems out there that I think are... There's a lot of systems out there that are easier to learn than D20, I think. Like, at least in terms of, like, having, you know, fewer rules or more permissive rules and stuff like that. Of course, how easily people, you know, adapt to certain rules depends a lot on the person. Because, like, for instance, a lot of the people that I play with are sort of, they have a lot of trouble, sort of, Mogus? Yeah, we call this guy Mogus. Our good friend Mogus. I must admit, I don't have a super keen recollection of a lot of the, boss names. I'm sure it'll come to me if I really focus down while I'm fighting them. Yeah, I can probably remember their names as we see them. But yeah, this is... Man, the second anyone mentions Pathfinder to me, I immediately start going on paragraph after paragraph talking about tabletop RPGs. But yeah, for instance, I can't remember the name of this boss. But yeah. Friends have a hard time? Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, I've had a lot of friends who have a hard time sort of getting into systems that are more freeform, if that makes sense. Like systems that are like Fate, if you are familiar with that. It's a system where Okay, I'm so glad that the boss didn't roll into here. But yeah, the fate system is one where, for instance, you don't roll numerical dice. You just roll dice with a plus on them, a minus on them, or just sort of a neutral result on them. And you count up all the pluses and all the minuses, and you add them together, and the number of pluses minus the number of minuses is your result. And that was foolish of me. And like on a basic level, there are only 4 actions that you can take in the fate system. You can attack, you can defend, you can overcome an obstacle. Teenagers from Outer Space. I've never heard of that one. I might just look that up. But yeah, overcome an obstacle and create an advantage, I believe, are the 4 actions you can take under the fate system. And I've tried several times to play Fate with that group of friends that I mentioned, and all of them to a certain degree, but mostly, yeah, all of them to a certain degree have a lot of difficulty sort of wrapping their heads around sort of a system where, you know, there's only sort of where a system that doesn't have very explicit rules regarding what you can do at any given time and exactly how it is, what it is, and how you do it, you know? Because like at any given time in, say, D&D, you know, you've got a sword on you, so you can make a sword attack. You've got, you know, you can make grapple checks, you can run, you can do things like that. Whereas in Fate, you know, you have to come up with a description for what it is you're doing personally. Yeah, light rule system where the premise is that aliens grow obsessed with teen culture so much that alien moms and dads enroll their alien kids on Earth. Hilarity ensues. That does sound pretty fun. But yeah, that might be something I look into. But yeah, like I was saying, so I've got like a lot of friends who prefer more structured systems like Dungeons and Dragons and Pathfinder, because they aren't so good at, or at least aren't really comfortable with, sort of improvising their actions in the way that sort of Fate demands it. Like the concept of, you know, creating an opportunity or overcoming an obstacle, things like that, are both very abstract. They're very abstract, so for some people, it's really hard to try and think of, okay, I want to overcome an obstacle, but like, what does that mean? What does it mean to overcome an obstacle? What obstacle is there to overcome here? What advantage is there to create? Things like that. Sometimes you need a system that is so friggin' weird and comedic that you go, what did we just play after playing it? But yeah. So yeah. For some people, very rules-light, free-form sort of systems are sort of the ideal. Oh dear. Nope. Alright. I panicked a little bit after I lost my hit point there. But yeah, there are some people who very much enjoy rules-light systems, and there are some people who enjoy very rules-heavy systems. And, you know, for different reasons. I personally also strongly enjoy rules-heavy systems, we'll say. But mostly I enjoy them because I find it very satisfying to learn and make use of like systems of rules, basically. Like I enjoyed math when I was in school. I enjoyed math quite a bit more than subjects like history and science and all that, because like well, not so much science, but like then history, because like there is, you know, a very specific, these are the rules, and as long as you follow the rules, you will always get the exact same results. But yeah, the day I played Vampire, I wish I could play it again. It was so engaging, it felt like every decision I made had a consequence. Yeah, World of Darkness is a good system to get into if you want sort of a very, like you say, a very consequential system. Because yeah, like Vampire and other like World of Darkness and Chronicles of Darkness games are games where like you can, no matter like how advanced you are in the game, like if you get shot like once with a rifle, you'll probably die. Or you will be like in the hospital for weeks, potentially recovering. Like, you know, if you're a werewolf or a vampire or a mage or something like that, well, you know, honestly, most most playable character types in the World of Darkness have some sort of accelerated healing abilities that they can use, especially werewolves. But yeah, it's a system. It's a very weighty system. There's a lot behind your actions. There's like you said, very significant consequences, positive and negative, for what you do. Yeah, sometimes it does feel like there's a tendency to spawn near whatever boss you were nearest to when you died. I wonder if that's true, or if I'm just imagining that. Gotta be a little bit more careful. Alright, alright. Alright. But yeah, so specifically, I guess, the type of player I am, I like high rules engagement. I like complex characters that can do like, you know, require a lot of sort of thinking to build them and to operate them. So I'm definitely in, you know, D&D, I'm more of a caster player, generally speaking. Like in 5th edition, I do not play fighter unless I'm playing Battlemaster Fighter. I could probably play Eldritch Knight or something like that. But like Champion Fighter, there is too little for me to keep track of for me to remain interested in my character with a Champion Fighter, for instance. And that's a strong reason why I prefer Pathfinder over 5th edition, because character builds in Pathfinder are a lot more complex and stuff. Oh, right, I forgot about the start of battle boss invulnerability. That was a risky play. But yeah, to an extent me too, but I roleplay heavy, method act, become my character, tend to get very upset in real life when someone in the game that was dear to me dies. I would hate if the DM was just like, oh, I'll revive them, it's okay. No, I am acting, death should be meaningful, you should learn from it. Yeah. But yeah, I can see where you're coming from there. I do try to get into character pretty strongly. Like, if I make a character and I find that I just can't get into character, then usually I'll just retire that character pretty quickly. But I will say, I'm also the type of player who I don't go out of my way to put my characters in danger, but I'm much more interested in the game when I am in danger than when I am not, on a personal level. Whoops. Alright, I keep missing that jump up. But yes, if ever a character of mine dies, I never mourn them. I almost always just laugh at whatever ended up killing them. Like the one time I had an elf wizard that I made in 5e. They died, and the whole party was just like, they were so sad. They were just being like, oh, I'm so sorry we got you into the situation where you know, died. And I was just like, I was just laughing the whole time. But yeah, if I am a character that is reckless, I will act reckless. If I am impulsive, I will ignore detecting traps. But yeah, I will say, I'm not a reckless player. What just happened? I didn't hear the death sound, I don't think. Huh. That was weird. But yeah, honestly, I'm a very risk-averse player. Smart to detect traps, yeah. But yeah, I'm a very risk averse as a player, but when I do get into danger, it's I tend to laugh about my. That was abrupt. But yeah, when I do get into danger or to misfortune, I tend to laugh about it. I tend to find it very amusing. But yeah, a character with a -8 wisdom score is not going to care. They should act like a character with a lack of foresight. Yeah. But yeah, I think there's definitely. Yeah. There's. I don't know how to put this, but yeah. But yeah, playing your character is. Playing the character as true to themselves is very important. I will say, you know, I will play my character as true to themselves as I can, but I also, you know, and I'm not trying to accuse you of anything, but I always try to make sure, and I'm sure you do too, that, you know, you play your character within the bounds of, you know, what is fun for everyone else too, you know. But yeah, you don't always set off the traps when everyone else is like right next to you, just because, you know, oh, maybe my character would do that, you know. Because yeah, you know, embracing consequences gleefully for yourself is fine, but you know, you don't want to be the character, or you don't want to be the player who's making things harder for everyone else just because it's funny for you. And again, I don't want to come across as though I'm accusing you of anything, Sheps. But there's a lot of people out there, I feel like, a lot of RPG players, who don't make that connection. You know, the whole idea of, we're all here to play a game together and have fun, and who just sort of play their characters in a way that is fun for them and only for them, basically. And that's a real pet peeve of mine. People who don't, you know, take into consideration that everyone here is here to have fun and play a game and play their characters together. Well, that was foolish of me. Who has the -8 wisdom now? But yes, I'm very, very passionate about tabletop RPGs. A shame. Nothing over there. Or at least nothing immediately. But yeah, like here, that's a pretty optimal spawn, I feel like, from a speedrun perspective. I realize now that I'm trying a bit too hard to get through this quickly. I should probably slow down a little bit more. Because at the pace we're going, we're not going to make it to the boss. I can say that much. To the final boss. The only boss that we have not seen thus far. Yeah, my current character is, for instance, a very proud and vain bard. They honestly think they are extremely charming and will go out of their way to do things that will get a character in trouble. But someone like that, that will get a character in trouble. But someone like that would do things like that. Yeah. But yeah. Whoops. Need to be more careful with my timing. I'm very good at timing things in Chroma Squad, but not so much here, it would seem. But yeah. And it's also the sort of thing that, you know, it varies depending on the group, you know? Because if your whole group is okay with your character, you know, being reckless and dumb a lot of the time, and even when it, you know, could potentially endanger other members of the party, that was very unfortunate. But yeah, even when it could endanger other members of the party, then, you know, it's perfectly fine to play that way. But yeah, just playing a video game in real life. Whoops. But yeah, the party says, okay, I am the fighter, I'm going to be in the front lines. Rogue is good at charisma and will be the one that talks, etc., etc. But yeah. But yeah, I get what you're saying there. Just like playing a video game in real life. Yeah. But yeah, sort of talking about sort of the, you know, what people refer to as metagaming, basically. Just thinking of this just purely in terms of, you know, the game as a system, sort of as a thing to be won and lost. Not munchkinning. Munchkinning's a different thing. Munchkinning, I think, is mostly just like a sort of a power, like trying to build for power specifically. Whereas what you're describing is more so just like playing the game, like you said, like it's a video game. Not playing your characters like they're characters, but playing them like they are tactical roles. But yeah. Stretch. Oops. Oh dear. Alright, bad positioning. Chandler, that's what this boss is named. But yeah, my brother did. My brother would find every obscure module with prestige classes and multi-class into several, that have proficiencies in everything so they can dual wield and cast magic without penalty and etc. Yeah, I can see why where you're coming from there, yeah. Yeah, my character can hit 5 times. Alright. I think we've got one more hit on Chandler here. There we go. Oh dear. Oh dear. So yeah, so I think basically the way to sum it up, my thoughts are the best way to play a character is to play your character as the character that they are, the person that they are, whatever that person is, to the extent that is, you know, comfortable and fun for everyone else as well, who is everyone else who is involved in the game as well. Is, I think, sort of the ideal way to play the game. But yeah, thank you. I think we'll have a great time with Pathfinder then. I'm glad to hear that you think that. That's how it should be played. Yeah. And yeah, like but yeah, and another thing that I would like to this has become very much almost like this has become sort of a tabletop role-playing game podcast with a video game that happens to be on in the background, really. But yeah, another thing that I would like to sort of, if anyone else is looking for tabletop role-playing game advice, another thing I would suggest is, you know, make sure that you understand that the game master, the person running the game, you know, dungeon master in D&D, game master in most other systems, storyteller in some, you know, whatever the role is called, you know, understand that they are a player too, you know, they are trying to enjoy the game as well, just like everyone else. You know, it's not you versus them. Their role is to tell a story and, you know, play a whole bunch of characters so that you guys, the other players who are just playing, you know, usually one character each, maybe sometimes more than that, depending on the system, but, or just, you know, how your group decides to play the game. But yeah, you know, your DM isn't like this person who's just making this great sacrifice so that everyone else can have fun. You know, they're here to have fun too. So, you know, it's not a game where you're trying to, you know, give grief to your GM. It's not a game where you're trying to beat them and outsmart them. Or at least, you know, ideally, it shouldn't be. It should be anything you want. Yeah. But yeah, like again, I feel like the ideal way to play the game is to treat the GM as they are another player trying to have fun and not just, you know, someone that you're trying to outsmart or someone that you're trying to, you know, confound and bamboozle to try and trick into letting you build the best possible character you can, or like you know, just someone who's there to entertain you with their silly voices and their storytelling. Didn't quite get him there. Right. Yeah. Yeah, very excited to play my wizard. Yes. But yeah. So you decided on a necromancy wizard then? Because yeah, I know you mentioned necromancer. You wanted to play a necromancer, but I don't think you had settled on a class last time we spoke. Alright, gotta be careful with Ace here. Here we go. Nice. Oh. Alright, we'll call that a damage boost. We'll call that another damage boost. Alright. So, gotta calm down a little bit. Focus a little bit. Alright. There we go. Alright, and on to Chandler. But yeah, I know that I had a strategy for Chandler before, where I would go up into like the top right corner there. But I found that this strategy that I'm doing is a lot more consistent, where you sort of wait for Chandler to swing back to like right there. Like when they're, you know, they don't quite, yeah, when they're swinging back and they don't quite reach the that little corridor on the right side. Yeah, when the like sort of the swing after Chandler starts to retract is when it's safest to hit them. But yeah, my previous strategy was very inconsistent because I wasn't aware that Chandler, you know, increased in speed as their HP went down. Oh dear. We aren't doing too bad on health. We have taken like 3 hits or so. 2 or 3 hits. No, definitely, yeah, 3 I think. But yeah, we've definitely been in worse situations. Very nice. But yeah, not sure, never played a 3.5e sorcerer, and I do like how their casting is more spontaneous and not prepared, but I'm not sure if there's a focus for necromancer sorcerers in Pathfinder. I'm not going to say that there isn't, because Pathfinder is pretty flexible with character building. You can make a lot of things work. But yeah, I will say I don't think that there's like a necromancer sorcerer, like, you know, you can do necromancy as a sorcerer. Sorcerer has all the same spells that wizard does. So, you know, if you're just looking for necromancy spells, you can certainly cast necromancy spells just as well as the wizard can. The difference, you know, is in the class features. You know, the fact that wizard gets access to the necromancy school, because they have the various arcane schools that they can specialize into. There are undead-focused sorcerer bloodlines, but sorcerer is generally less defined by like what they can do with magic, and their bloodlines more focus around, you know, making them sort of like so-and-so. So like undead bloodlines for sorcerers tend to focus on making them more like an undead creature, rather than making them more able to create undead or control undead or whatever. Oh dear. But yeah, So one thing that a lot of people don't expect is that a really good class for making a necromancer in Pathfinder is actually cleric. Because yeah, if you play as an evil or a neutral cleric, then you can get the ability to channel negative energy, and you can use that to heal undead. And you can also, if you are, I believe, again, a cleric who channels negative energy, you can, instead of getting turn undead, where you make undead run away from you, you can get command undead, where you can get whacked in the face and die. No. Command undead, where you can, command undead. You can take control of mindless undead creatures and stuff like that. And even like undead creatures that do have minds, you can influence them to a certain extent, like vampires and stuff. Probably not a lich necessarily. I mean, you probably could if you were strong enough. But liches are, generally very, very strong. But yeah, so as I understand it, and I haven't done a whole lot of research into it personally, but as I understand it, sort of the two big classes that you go in Pathfinder if you want to have a lot of features that involve creating and controlling undead are Sorcerer and, or not, sorry, not Sorcerer, we just talked about Sorcerer, Wizard and Cleric. Nice, nice. I am, one hit away from death, so I need to keep that in mind and not take unnecessary risks. There we go. But yeah, we call this one Fred, I think. We'll have to think about it. Yeah. But yeah, you got plenty of time. Because yeah, I'm assuming we're going to wait until at least after we've done Borderlands 3. So you've got time. You've got time. Whoops. Oh dear. A little bit too slow there. Alright. Ah dear. Wizards have familiars? Yes, they do. Or they can have familiars. They don't strictly have to have a familiar. But yes, you may have a familiar as a wizard. And yeah, it's generally... Familiars are very common for wizards to have. But yeah, never mind you know what you want? Alright. I'm assuming that you want a familiar of some kind. Alright, there we go. Indeed. Alright. Yeah, what were you thinking for your familiar, if you don't mind my asking? There we go. Yeah, I think this is notable, I think, as being like the only boss that whose arena directly connects to another boss arena. Or, these two bosses are unique in that they both have arenas that directly connect to another boss's arena. Because yeah, every other boss I think has at least one room in between their room and another boss's room. An insect of some sort. Alright. Alright. Thinking spider? Alright. We can definitely make that happen. Alright. One more hit, I think. Very good, very good. I probably don't need to be quite this careful. Oh, maybe I should have been a little bit more careful, actually. Don't need to be this careful, I say. Takes 2 hits. Alright, time for Wiggles. I remember this guy's name. Our good friend Wiggles. Being a little bit careless again. Yeah, I feel like a lot of the reason why I feel like I'm not so good at platformers is because, unlike pretty much every other type of game I play, I tend to play in a very, I don't know, a very sort of risky way. I tend to not take the time to consider things when I am much more prone to do so in other types of games. Because yeah, if you've seen me playing an RPG, you know, I will spend like minutes and minutes in menus, comparing things, making decisions, planning. But like, if I spend like 30 seconds, if I spend 10 seconds even, thinking about a jump in a platformer, that is an incredibly long time for me to consider anything. Yeah, centipede, that is much more terrifying and gross. That is a little bit terrifying and gross, yes. Centipedes, I used to be like afraid of like every single arthropod except for like crustaceans. Now I'm pretty much not afraid of, broadly speaking, most arthropods, except for centipedes. Oh dear. Millipedes, though, they're fine. I like millipedes. But centipedes, no, no, no. Can't have any of them. And the even funnier thing about that, or I guess the funny thing about that, because being afraid of centipedes isn't necessarily funny in and of itself, but the funny thing about that is that my favorite bug Pokemon is a Scolipede, which is just Big Centipede the Pokemon. And granted, Pokemon are cute, which centipedes are not in my eyes, generally speaking. But it still kind of amuses me. Alright, alright. Yeah, Phalanx has that kind of energy. Almost? I don't know, but Phalanx is like multiple bodies. Like it's multiple creatures, essentially. Multiple creatures that like act as one. But it doesn't really have centipede energy to me. Like, Phalanx to me looks like a line of Waddle-Doos marching in formation or something. And that's not something that is frightening to me. Yeah, 5 Cutter Kirby's changed my mind. I mean, we did both went to Kirby as an example, just quite slightly different Kirby concepts. But yeah, I can definitely see that now that you say it. Alright, can we get Ace stuck in the loop again? No, we can't. But yeah, it's not the sort of like segmented body that upsets me about centipedes. It's mostly like the fangs. The fangs and the fact that they have like the fangs on the front and then the pincers in the back. And I just hate the idea of like one pinching me with their like horrible little pincers. And they've also got like the pointy legs. So like a centipede's just like covered in pointy, sharp parts that I don't want to touch me. They're also kind of aggressive. I don't know that they're like they probably wouldn't like chase you down that hard because humans are very large and not super edible to centipedes, I don't think. But I think they're relatively aggressive as far as arthropods go. Yeah, I was wanting to enchant it somehow with a very deadly poison and watch it go bite a guard and watch, what? Make it go bite a guard on watch and watch them fall. I wonder, there's probably a way that you could, magic up a creature to make it more poisonous. I don't know of any spells offhand that would do that, but there's probably a way you can do that. Alright, nice and slow and easy. We're not in any rush. I talked about speedrunning a lot earlier today, but we're not speedrunning now. I'm going to be a skeleton animator and be a spreader of poxes and diseases. But yeah, that's necromancy. That's necromancy for sure. There we go. We succeeded at this jump this time. Nice. Alright, and over to Ferris. But yeah, whenever I think of this game, Ferris is usually like the first boss that I think of. I think Ferris was, if I'm remembering correctly, the first boss that I played, the first boss that I fought the first time that I played this game. Oh dear. Oops. Yeah, I feel like a centipede is a very small and quick venomous familiar that could bite a soldier's ankle flat-footed. Yeah. I don't know how much movement that they have, necessarily. But yeah, they are quick and nimble when they need to be, I've heard. I don't think they can float through the air, but they could probably climb up a tree. Alright. So yeah. At max, we're going to go into the final boss with 2 hits in reserve now. Alright, we're going to go into the final boss with 1 hit in reserve right now. Because I keep going into that little alcove when I really shouldn't be. Nice, nice. Can we keep up this combo? Ah, not quite. I was hoping that I could just combo stomping all of them. Alright, here we go. First time fighting the boss. Yeah, I want to play the creepy goth girl with magic goth powers. Is that so bad? Absolutely not. Oh dear. But yeah, this is an interesting little fella. Alright, so that's not how you hit them. Okay, so yeah, you do land on them just like any other boss. Missing no. It does look like Missing no. Missing no if Missing no shot Greek characters at you as an attack. Okay, so yeah, when they have sort of an expression about them, you cannot hit them, it would seem. Or when they have a different expression. I guess they have an expression now. Oh dear. Oh dear. Alright, we're good. Yeah, sort of reminds me of like Missing No, but like mixed with a like Dwarf Fortress dwarf sprite. Man, Dwarf Fortress is another game that I kind of want to play at some point. You can see that? Oh dear. Alright, that was frightening. Oh. Unfortunate. But yeah, that move really threw me off. But yeah, we got like, I think we got like halfway through that boss's hit points. Oh. Ah. You missed the easy quick hit on Wiggles. Oh. Unfortunate. But hey, at least you got the optimal spawn. Yeah, I don't know if it has a whole lot of undead synergy, but wizards in Pathfinder are super easy to build and level. They are pretty relatively, yeah, you have to make like a lot of character choices with a wizard. But yeah, they're not, but yeah, they're not like earlier editions where they're like super wild and like super weak at super early levels, or there's a lot of supers there. But yeah, they don't have like, you know, 1d4 hit points and like, you know, no weapons. You get like one spell. You get one spell and you just have to live with that. And once you use your one spell, you're done, basically. But yeah. But yeah, basically, you know, wizard is just, you get spells and you get feats related to magic. And that's it. That's all you need. And because of that, they are very strong. Because there are a lot of feats that are very strong. Pathfinder is all about feats. Honestly, the biggest difference, I feel like, between like Pathfinder and 5e in terms of like how characters are built and work is the fact that like in Pathfinder, feats are essential. Like you're getting a feat every other level minimum. If you're playing like a fighter or a wizard, then you're probably getting a feat every level. But like in 5e, you might get like 5 feats throughout the entire length of your character's lifespan, and that's only if you go out of your way to get them, because they are, you know, optional to pick up. You can choose whether to increase your ability scores or get feats, and even if they aren't even you know, mechanically, even on a mechanical level, they are optional. Your DM can just not have feats in the game in 5e, and the game will still work fine. But like, you know, in Pathfinder, you really can't have... I mean, you could, but like, a character with no feats would be like super weird and like strictly against the rules. Like, the rules as written. You absolutely should not have a Pathfinder character that has no feats. Not even at the earliest levels. Because, like, you know, if you're playing like a human fighter, you can start out the game with like 3 feats in Pathfinder. 2 of which you can choose from any feat that you qualify for, and then, you know, your fighter bonus feat is just a combat specific feat of some sort. Whoops, right, I forgot that Ace can attack before their invulnerability wears off. Whoops. But yeah, Pathfinder characters in general tend to be a little bit more personalized, a little bit more customizable than 5e characters. 5e very much leans into the idea of, if you want to set your character apart from other characters, the way you do that is, you know, by your character, just how you act. Whereas in Pathfinder, there's very much a, you know, your character can act however they want as well, but there's more of an emphasis on mechanical differentiation. Because you can have, like, 2 fighters with the same, like, you know, 2 fighters who are just fighters, and they have, like, radically different builds, because they, you know, have all these different feats that they choose from, and different, like, weapon training options, and different armor training options. And, you know, you can build fighters reasonably distinctly in a little too close on my safe strat there. But, 5E fighters, if they are, the same, like, I don't know what it's called in 5E. Like, the subclass, the thing that you choose at, like, 3rd or 5th or whatever, or 1st level. Yeah, I don't think any class chooses it at 5th level. But, for some of them, it's 1st level, mostly wizard or casters, not wizards specifically. I think for casters, it's mostly 1st level, and for non-casters, it's usually 3rd level. For some casters, it's 3rd level, I think, and for some non-casters, it's 1st level also. But, your different subclasses, they're called different things for different subclasses. Like for barbarians, it's your path. For wizard, it's your school. For bard, it's your college. But yeah, right. A fighter that focuses on exotic weaponry and 2-weapon fighting, for instance, or one that focuses on great cleaving. Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, in short, in Pathfinder, it's a lot easier to build 2 characters that are just, even with the same class and even with the same, like, subclass on them, 2 characters that are just, like, radically different. Like, completely different, play styles than it is in, 5e, where within a given play style, or within a 5e is a lot more sort of, there's less, you just have less opportunities to make choices about how your character works. Which for some people is a plus, if they don't want to, read a whole bunch of paragraph after paragraph of text, learning all these different rules, like, what's more optimal for me? Do I want to get, or what's, like, better for the way my character is? Do I want to, do I want to go 2-weapon fighting? Do I want to go heavy weapon fighting? Do I want to power attack? Do I want this, that, or the other? Even worse in 4th edition, but we pretend that doesn't exist. But yeah. So there's, yeah, I know that, like, 4th edition, like, roll, like, is very heavily roll-based. Like, if you are a damage dealer, then you're a damage dealer, basically. And the damage dealers play pretty much the same. If you're a supporter, and they play pretty much the same as other supporters, and on and on and on. With, mostly flavor differences, just sort of differences in how their mechanics are presented, rather than in how they work, strictly speaking. Which, I don't know, I will, again, I will say, some people like that. Some people like to, have a role and fill it and know that this is what they do. I'm the fighter. I'm the guy who just goes up to things and hits them. And that's what I do in combat. That's all I need to know how to do in combat. And that's all I want to do in combat. I'm, the cleric. I heal people. I cast buffs. I resurrect every now and again if things go bad. But, that is what I do. That is all I want to do. That is all I care to do. And, yeah, like, different levels of mechanical engagement. Drive on having nuance. I want to be unique. Yeah. But yeah, that's sort of what I was getting at. Different, like, levels of preferred mechanical engagement. Different levels of wanting to be able to, dig into the rules and really sort of figure out how to make your character themselves. How to get the game to work exactly how you want it to work at this particular moment in time. Versus just playing, you play your character, and your character has the thing that they do, and they do it well, and nobody else does it, and steps on your toes, and, like, sort of almost in like an MMO sort of way, or like a hero shooter, where, you have your specific role, and you fill it, and the other people have their roles, and they fill them, and as long as everybody is doing their role, their one roll that they do, then the fight will go well, basically. Or at least it will not go as poorly as it would be if everyone was, trying to do something different than what they're designed to do. But yeah, like for me, I feel like my number one sort of metric, like quick metric for how much I like a given system is usually how robust is their like illusion school. If they have like sort of an illusion, if they have illusion magic, what can you do with illusion? And like in 5e, the answer is often not a whole lot. Because 5e is a lot more focused on, combat utility for spellcasters than other editions. Or more so than Pathfinder, especially. Because, like, a lot of casters in 5e are generally a lot more useful in combat, and they're a lot more consistent in combat. Because, like, in Pathfinder, like, if you want a cantrip that does damage, so if you want, like, the ability to do magic damage consistently, or consistently do damage with your spells as a magic user, then usually you're going to have to settle for like doing 1d3 damage, basically. Like, I think like, most cantrips do like 1d3 damage at max. Like the highest damage cantrip is like Disrupt Undead, which does a 1d6 damage, but it only damages undead, and it's a touch spell. So you have to touch an undead, and it's a spell that wizards get. So, in order to be able to use it, you, the wizard, have to walk up to the zombie and, like, slap it. You have to walk up to the zombie and slap it and say, okay, I hope that nothing goes wrong with this undead creature right next to me. I hope that nothing goes wrong so that this 1d6 damage that I dealt will be good. And, I won't get, like, eaten for having done it. But yeah, like, most others do, like, 1d3 or 1d4 damage. Whereas in, 5e, like, you can easily be doing, like, a 1d10 damage at first level with a single cantrip as a caster. And, like, your cantrips tend to scale higher. Generally, in Pathfinder, your cantrips don't scale up in damage pretty much at all. Whereas in 5e, at high levels, you're not doing 1d10 damage, you're doing like 5d10 damage with a cantrip. And, you can do that damage from like 300 feet away if you have the right class features and the right cantrip and the right class features. And you can do that damage, as many times as you want. It doesn't consume any resources. It just takes your action. Yeah, you can probably do even more damage than that, from perhaps even further ranges, without expending any resources. As a caster in 5e. But, 5e actually has, like, pretty few, like, illusion spells. Pretty few, like, relatively fewer spells that don't directly influence the way a fight goes, even though magic users are generally more effective and more consistent in fights. Because yeah, in Pathfinder you occasionally have to deal with the issue of, well, I cast all of my, damaging spells when you're a wizard, so now you just sort of have to either wait the rest of the fight out, basically, or you've got to, like, use a crossbow or something, or a dagger, or some other one of the very few weapons that wizard is proficient with, which to some people is very much a huge downside. Like, they play wizard because they want to cast spells, and they want to cast a spell every turn if they can, and having to sit and shoot a crossbow like once per turn, like they don't like that. They don't like that so much because if I wanted to shoot a crossbow, I'd be a fighter that specializes in crossbows. I wouldn't be a wizard. I'm playing a wizard because I want to use magic. And yeah, this is, especially prevalent at low levels when you have very few spell slots and your spells generally aren't terribly effective. And you'll very rarely have spells that do damage multiple turns in a row. So a lot of the time you'll cast your spell, your 1 or 2 spells that do damage that you've got right now, and then you'll just have to wait because you spent all your spell slots. And again, you've either got to do the very unwizardly thing of sitting back with a crossbow and shooting dudes, or you've got to do the potentially even more unwizardly thing of wading into combat with your knife, so you can cut some people up. And yeah, to some people this is not a huge deal, but I've known a few players who have been very much like, well, I don't want to play a wizard because, I'll use up all my spell slots and then I will just have to sit out the rest of the fight, basically. Or I'll, who very much feel like, I don't want to use a crossbow when I'm a wizard. I want to use spells. And, end up using a lot of spell slots very quickly. And, again, end up having to sit out most of the fight, not really contributing. Yeah, last time we were fighting this boss, we died down here for seemingly no obvious reason. I guess maybe I got hit by a bullet and I just didn't see it because I couldn't see where I was, due to the darkness at the bottom of the screen. That seems like the most likely answer, really. But yes, good job on Steve, I think was that boss's name. Pretty smooth, pretty smooth. Alright, and we're up to Mogus again. But yeah, in the end, there's not a correct role-playing system. There's not a correct role-playing game. Different people have different things that they want. Some people, they want to play a wizard and they want to be casting spells every turn and affecting the battle every turn and all that. And for that reason, they'll stick to, 5e or something instead of Pathfinder. Some people, like me, like to have very, characters who have, just huge lists of things that you can do. Huge list of modifiers and all sorts of different things that apply in various situations. And different abilities that you have. Even, the simplest class being more complex than the most complex class in some other games. And some people like games where every class is equally complex, or every class is equally simple, or, anywhere in between. Some people like games where everything is basically just improv. You just, you say, okay, I'm going to do this, and then your DM says, okay, and you roll a die, and you just sort of see how things go based on just how you describe them purely, with hardly any stats, or, if any, at all. Some RPGs don't use dice. They use other forms of conflict resolution. Sometimes, again, that could just be whoever describes how they, their actions most eloquently or the most effectively is the one who wins in a given, exchange. Something like that. But yeah, it's a very sad reality. A lot of people who play tabletop games seem to be under the impression that there's a way to play and or design tabletop games. There is a correct way to do it, and everything else is just varying shades of wrong. Because yeah, different different RPGs are made for different things, basically. Well, yeah, so I guess sort of to defend 4th edition a little bit. It's very much a game that is built around the idea of, the players are going to have sort of action-packed fights with, a lot of using of abilities and a lot of, doing this and that and the other in every given fight. That's why you have sort of encounter, like abilities that refresh every encounter, and you can use them a certain number of times per encounter. Whereas in other games, it's more of a resource management sort of thing where, I could use this ability, but that means that I can't use it again for the rest of the day. So do I want to use it now, or do I want to save it for when it could be more useful or more necessary? Whereas, again, in 4th edition, generally, you don't wait to use your powers so much because you're going to have, powers that you just have all the time. And you're going to have a lot more powers that you can use, you can only use them a certain number of times now, but you can count on being able to use them again the next time you have to get into a fight or what have you. But yeah, different strokes for different folks, as they say. I inflected that a little bit oddly, but it's fine. Yeah, I think we might have just one more hit left. There we go. Yep. Stretch a little bit. Been a little bit since I stretched. Also been a little bit since I sipped. Oh dear. Sip. But yeah, for not being a tabletop RPG stream, we really have talked about tabletop RPGs a lot today, huh? Yeah, that's no problem. That is not a mistake. That is just how the night went. And I am always glad to talk about tabletop RPGs, to be honest. I definitely want to try out a variety of them. Because yeah, I've got like 3 or 4 different like Chronicles of Darkness games. I've got Hunter, I've got Mage, I've got Changeling, I've got like Numenera. I am aware of. I haven't purchased a copy of because it's, available for free online. Though you can purchase a copy and support the publishers as well, and the developers. But Fate Core, Open Legend, Pathfinder, 5e, all sorts of different, a lot of different RPGs with, again, different sort of design philosophies and different modes of play is sort of a term that is used. But yeah, and like games like Chubo's Marvelous Wish Granting Engine, which is really, I've owned a copy of Chubo's Marvelous Wish Granting Engine for months, and I've read the rules multiple times, and I still don't understand them. I still have only the vaguest notion of how to even build a character. And I feel like a lot of that is just because I'm coming at it from the perspective of someone who's used to very sort of, mechanics-heavy games. And Chubo's Marvelous Wish Granting Engine is a much more sort of a character and story-driven experience. But yes, there are many RPGs that I have played. There are many more that I would like to play, that I have at various points planned on playing, wanted to play, tried to play, but couldn't get a group together for. But yeah, and again, all with sort of different styles. There's as many different genres and types of tabletop RPGs as there are of literally any other type of media, There's not a correct type of movie. There's not a correct type of song. There's not a correct type of tabletop RPG. Because, yeah, different people have fun with different things in different ways and for different reasons. Alright, we're doing pretty good for health right now. We've got, I think, two or three bosses left, I'm pretty sure. We've got at least 2, possibly more. Alright, Akai is this boss's name. Only once I recall the true names of all of my foes will I be able to take down the ultimate foe. Greek missing, no. I guess, if he shoots Greek characters at us, and he's missing now, that makes him a Delta species. Pokemon card game joke. Alright, I think our last fight is going to be against Wiggles. Our good friend. Hello, Wiggles. Ah, we missed Wiggles. Oh dear. Oh yeah, another tabletop RPG that I'm particularly strongly interested in is Lancer, which is a game in which you are a mech pilot. And yeah, the rules for mech combat are significantly more in-depth than everything else, because this is very much this is a game that knows its aim, and its aim is to make you be a mech pilot. So you will pilot your mech, and the game knows that that is the bulk of the meat of the system. Ah, right. Start of boss phase invincibility. Alright. Yeah, can you say a catchphrase and gain advantage on rolls, or can you call out your attack and make sure it hits? I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure that you can, but I'm also not 100% sure that you can't. Golden Hammer! I wouldn't be surprised if there was some sort of mechanic for, something to that effect, but I can't say with confidence that there is. Yeah, we need to be a little bit more careful with the boss here. Losing a bit too much HP to these attacks. I mean, ideally we wouldn't lose any HP to the attacks, but you know. Oh dear. Yeah. Oh dear. Missed that symbol there. It sort of blended into the background just a little bit. Oh, can't hit you now. Oh dear. Alright. Alright. Yeah, be interested in being a mech pilot for sure? Yeah. Mechs are very interesting. Alright, that attack's not too bad. Uh-oh. This attack looks a little bit scary, though. Alright. Alright, can we make it? Alright, this is an attack that we've dodged before. It's faster now, because we're later on in the fight, but it's nothing that we haven't overcome before. Ooh, this is worrisome. Ah. Yeah, we did not plan for that. Did not plan for that attack properly, unfortunately. But yeah, definitely could have maneuvered a little bit better there. System change! If that's a reference to something, I'm afraid I don't know what that's a reference to. I've got to say, for all that I like mechs, I really haven't seen a lot of... I haven't consumed a lot of mech media. To be honest, I haven't consumed a lot of media. A lot of different media. I've consumed a lot of very specific... I've consumed a lot of certain franchises, but very little of anything else. Gao Gaigar is required watching. I have heard of Gao Gaigar. I have heard of Gao Gaigar. But yeah, I have never laid eyes upon it though. No, I'm pretty sure I've seen the mech at least once. I can't accurately picture it in my head. An image came to mind when I saw Gao Gaigar, the text there, but I realize now that I was thinking of Mazinger probably, which I've also never watched, but I do know what Mazinger looks like more or less. Yeah, extremely influential mecha anime that was the basis for anime like Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann. I have watched Gurren Lagann. But yeah, the only two mech anime that I have watched in their entirety are Gurren Lagann and Gundam Build Fighters Try. I've watched the first episode of Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans, and I've watched... actually, that might be the only other mech anime that I've watched, come to think of it. Let's see. What are some mech anime that I can name off the top of my head? There's various Gundams, but I feel like that's kind of a gimme almost. I know of the Gundam franchise in very broad strokes. Let's see. Patlabor? I know that one. Vaguely. Let's see. Isn't Code Geass... Aren't there mechs in that, I think? Or something? Full Metal Panic, maybe? I think there's a mech in Full Metal Panic. Yeah, the idea behind Gao Gaigar is how do we make a mech suit with the most overpowered weapon in all mecha fiction with it still being interesting? That is a very interesting premise. And Gurren Lagann took that and went crazy. It sure did. But yes. Let's see. Oh yeah, Evangelion. There's mechs in Evangelion. What's some other mech media that I'm aware of? I mean, Titanfall, I guess. But yeah, Goldian Hammer has a black hole core that anything it touches obliterates due to the density of it. Fun. Ah. Missed my jump a little bit. Ah dear. Missed my jump a lot there. But yes. Oh wait. Oh, I did watch Super Robot Wars actually. I'm pretty sure there's more than one Super Robot Wars anime series, but I've only watched one of them. I don't remember what it was called. I think it was... No, I can't think of the title, but it was Super Robot Wars. I did watch that. At least one series of Super Robot Wars in its entirety. YouTube link if you're curious. Alright. Let's think. I suppose I've watched at least one episode of Megas XLR, if we're including Western shows as well, which I don't see why we wouldn't, if we're just talking about mechs. I'm talking about mechs, I guess. I already talked about Titanfall, so... But yeah, I mentioned a mech RPG, and we took a very hard pivot from RPG systems into anime with mechs in them. This is a very cool, chill sort of night, huh? Get to talk about giant robots and talk about Pathfinder. Two of my most beloved pastimes. Oh dear. Very good. Whoop. Ah, not quite, not quite. There we go. We have mechs in Macross, I think, right? Whoops, whoops. Alright, don't damage boost. You're gonna need these hit points for the boss. No damage boost. Safety strats only. Yeah, Gao Gaigar requires a second mech to transform and merge with it into the main one. Similar to Tengen Toppager and Logan, where mechs are just layered on top of each other by the end to the point of ridiculousness. Indeed. Alright, alright. There we go. There we go. So this is... Macross does have mechs. Cool. Macross does have mechs. Cool. Alright. I know things. I know things about things. But yeah, I guess since we're talking about anime, I have thought about doing like anime watch-alongs or something like that at some point. I'm not sure how exactly and when exactly I would fit that into my schedule. Because I don't know. Sort of, you know, the way I tend to stream is I tend to have like a thing that I do a lot, you know, multiple times a week. And then I switch over, you know, I have, you know, my collabs on Tuesday. And then on Thursday I have just, you know, a free day of just whatever I feel like doing. Just whatever impulse has grabbed me recently. But I feel like, honestly, I feel like more so than a watch along. I'd sort of like to do more of a show, or not a show. I'd like to like watch shows, maybe read books and stuff, and sort of like do like they do on like some like, yeah, not a watch along per se, but like sort of a I watch it and then I sort of like talk about it, sort of like analyze it. Because yeah, I definitely, one thing that I want to do more, a thing that I want to get better at is sort of like analyzing media, literary analysis. Sort of. You know, reading not just for the watching and reading things, not just for, you know, the you know, trying to sort of appreciate the sort of context around them for like classics and stuff, and trying to you know, look for themes and stuff, themes, subtext, things like that, just to sort of like dive deeper into media for to really appreciate it in that way, because I find that very gratifying, sort of the idea of, you know, looking deeper into the beyond the sort of just the looking, yeah, again, beyond like sort of the text of a story and into the sort of subtext, the context of it as well. So yeah, it would be, again, less of a watch along, I think, and more of a watch and then sort of share watch probably a number of episodes in like my free time, and then like, you know, make observations on it, write notes, and then come back and sort of at some point and do a stream where we sort of talk about sort of what we got out of the experience. You know, speculate on what's going to happen, talk about what did happen, things like that. But yeah, an example of something like that is there's a podcast that I've been listening to recently titled Bizarre Podcast Dogs Must Die, which is about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. It's available on YouTube and other streaming services. If you are interested in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Want to spoil the whole series, but it's so silly. Hold on, I will read the rest of your comment once I am no longer being assailed by innumerable bullets. But yeah, don't want to spoil the whole series, but it's so silly. Use the Goldian hammer. The pilot needs to have an executive order by the current Prime Minister of Japan because it can literally turn Earth into nothing but dust and starlight and stardust. That is pretty excellent. Oh dear. There we go. But yeah, sort of the idea I have is sort of like a book club, but, you know, for things that aren't just books. A culture club, I believe, is a term that I've used before and that other people have used before. Because yeah, sort of more analytical content is sort of the type of content that I really enjoy the most consuming. Other than, you know, yeah, like maybe not the most. It depends on what it is, but you know, I like to you know, listen to a lot of podcasts and watch a lot of you know, series that are sort of like about other things, basically. And I've talked about this before, but like, you know, my favorite sort of like gameplay is not just like people playing, you know, playing through a game for the first time and just having like you know, their funny reactions to it, but sort of like I like to watch like really like the types of Let's Plays that are like really in depth and talk at like great length about sort of you know, the game, the systems in it, you know, the history of it and the series and stuff like that. But yeah, I think at some point I want to sort of, yeah, like I said, sort of pivot into doing a little bit more content that is a little bit more analytical like that, a little bit more informed, I guess, rather than just reactive. Not that there's anything wrong with, you know, just playing something and just having your reactions to it be the content, or just watching something and having your reactions to it be the content. But I don't think that's necessarily the only thing that I want to do, like long term, in terms of, you know, game content and stuff. And again, potentially other things like watching shows and reading books and things. Because yeah. Because yeah, I guess sort of a running theme with me and is just sort of the idea that I like digging into things, to getting deeply involved in them. Which is, you know, I like games with complex systems and lots of rules and stuff. I like, you know, listening to other people talk about sort of break down a series like you know, or a show sort of scene by scene, and you know, look for the themes and the symbolisms and all that and stuff. All right, so So we've got like one spare hit for the final boss here. Let's go for it. Hmm. Alright. Probably didn't need to go all the way to the floor there. But I did, so we're just going to have to live with that, the consequences of that. But yeah, the boss sort of makes like a noise that's almost like a small bell being rung when doing that attack, which is interesting. Yeah, this is a pretty nice theme too. It's a real jam. Alright, alright. And no, we're not quite at the point where the boss is going to do the, go into their next phase. We're not there just yet. Ah. Oh, wait, we're not done yet. We're not done yet. We had an extra hit, right. I thought I lost right away there. But no, we haven't lost yet. Alright, we don't have to worry about this attack. But this next one is going to... Oh, no. Alright, alright. Yes, we've been down this road before. We know this one. Alright, are we there? Are we almost there? Yeah, this attack isn't too terrible. This attack is positively mild, I would say. Ah, but we missed our chance. Nope, ah. Went too far, went too far. Hence. Rip. Yeah, it is what it is. Oh, hold on a sec. All right. Thank you for your patience. Had to help one of my housemates with something. But yeah, I think one way or another, this will be our last run of the night. Because yeah, it is getting pretty late. Welcome back. Thank you. Oh. I did say that was going to be our last run of the night, one way or the other. Alright, this is going to be our last run of the night, one way or another. Because come on, we can't lose at the first boss. Surely. Alright, maybe... No, we're not going to lose at the first boss. I don't know. Well, no, okay. Yeah, I need to... yeah. It is getting late. I should be getting ready to turn in for the night. So, I'm going to honor what I have said. So, let's see. We're going to wrap up then, I suppose. Yeah, plus I might need to help some more in a little bit here. Possibly. But yeah, anyway. Yeah, we'll call it here for right now. We made it to the final boss, even if we weren't able to defeat them. So yeah, now is the time for the raid. So as per usual, if anyone has any raid suggestions, I would be happy to hear them. Sit. But yes, we do not have yet next week's schedule just yet. I will try to get that up Monday at some point. And yeah, let's see. Not tomorrow. Let's see, this... I think, yeah, okay. I got thrown off because, yeah, it's Saturday today. And, but yes. So next week, we are going to be streaming on Sunday as well. So, yeah, we won't be streaming Monday. But yeah, so many good folks to raid. I would suggest Games Done Quick. You know what? That is a fine choice. They are playing Deltarune right now, so I won't be able to stick around for long. But I guess that just means that I have an excuse to go to bed early. And, man, I really need an excuse to go to bed early sometimes. But yeah. It looks like they're between games at the moment, actually. It says they're playing Deltarune, but it looks like they're actually between games. But yeah, well over 2 million for Prevent Cancer Foundation. Very nice, very nice. Yeah, ooh, they're going to be doing Metal Gear Solid later. But that's in an hour, so I definitely won't be, like, awake for that. Anyway. But yeah, awesome game, yeah, it's awesome Games Done Quick when it's in the winter. So yes, Games Done Quick is a excellent charity. Well, they raise money for charity, rather. They are, speed running marathons. They have them, awesome Games Done Quick during the winter, January about now. They have summer Games Done Quick in the summer, hence the name at some point. I don't remember when exactly. But yeah. Let's see about, I suppose we can go and drop by Games Done Quick. Yeah, Games Done Quick, the event is run by a nonprofit. Ah, okay, gotcha. But yeah, so during Awesome Games Done Quick, their winter event, they have they raise money for other nonprofits. Yeah. But yeah, I think they raise money for specifically Prevent Cancer Foundation during the winter marathon and Doctors Without Borders during the summer marathon. And they have other events throughout the year where they, do other stuff. They have sort of like, some other speedrunning related events. I've been watching Games Done Quick for a good while. I don't have that much specific knowledge of it, apparently. But I guess mostly I just sort of, watch it for the runs, watch it for the charity and all that. And I haven't dug too deep into all the very things that they do. Two very, very important world-changing charities. Yeah. But yes. Yeah, I guess that is sort of a quick rundown. Oh, they've got... oh, hold on a second. Alright, I am back once again. So yeah, anyway, I was just about to say, apparently one of the prizes that you can win for donating, because you can win prizes for donating sometimes. You get entered in like a drawing. We were just talking about mechs, and they've got like a Gundam-themed keyboard and mousepad set that you could potentially win. So if you like giant robots, then this is the perfect opportunity. Oh. I knocked my phone off the table like I specifically said that I wouldn't do at the start of the stream. Oh well. Anyway, let's go raid Games Done Quick. Yeah, they do have follower subscriber only chat, you know. It's a huge thing. There's like thousands of people. There's like 90,000 people in chat, so yeah, I guess we don't need to drop the usual raid message because not everyone is going to be able to. I am not sub to them, so I cannot participate in the chat myself. But yeah, so Games Done Quick. Sub only chat anyway, yeah. So I guess that is that. Once again, the schedule for next week is not quite set yet. You know, we are expecting a stream Tuesday through Saturday, and most streams are at 7:30 p.m. or again, not most. Wednesday and Thursday streams are 7:30 p.m. Tuesday streams are usually 5:30 p.m. Saturday and Monday streams, when they happen, are usually 10 a.m. So, what will happen when it happens. And the schedule will be up on my Twitter on Monday, most likely. So, I think that's everything that needed to be said. So, let's go and drop by and see what they are up to, running right now. So, I hope you have all had a fine night. I hope that you'll continue to have a fine night. And I hope that you'll be well until the next time I see you. Farewell.